What's up, what's up, what's up? Just if you're JP in the house. Okay, I want to do another part on emotions. I was just thinking, right? So I was talking to some friends, we were talking about business and stuff, and I was telling them that you don't really need the word trust because the word trust is one of those adverb words or those abstract words that you can't, I meant to say abstract words that really do not have, it's an abstract word that does not have any meaning to it. It really, really doesn't. Okay, and it's almost worthless if you approach the subject, the person, or the event, or anything like that with a rational state of mind. So, for instance, like say, like if you have a girlfriend, right, and your girl is fine. I mean, every time y'all walking down the street, all the guys are looking at her, right? But your emotions aren't straight, and you know that they're looking because she's beautiful, right? So of course everyone's gonna look at something beautiful. But when it starts working on you, is that you're the type of guy who don't even worry about it because you know how your girl is. Now I'm not. You don't. It's not even about trust. You don't even trust isn't even a part of your vocabulary. You just know that if she was to get with one of those guys, that she would have some fun with him. You know, if they had a good conversation. You know, if you talked to her about business, that she would talk to him. If he stopped and asked her what time it was, he know that she would talk to him. And if he got that much game, then he probably know that she might even sleep with him. But the brother ain't worried because he understands that the emotion side of it is just going to get him in trouble and he going to lose the girl. And the trust side doesn't even matter because he don't have to trust her. He just needs to know her, know what type of person she is. Because there are a lot of guys out here or in the world who do marry women or have married women or date women who know, wow, that's new, who know that their women are messing around. Okay. And it happens. I know some guys here in Japan who knows their wife are messing around. Okay. And in the States too. And these guys, they're being more rational, saying, okay, fine, let her go to do it she want to do because I have more important things to worry about what kind of pleasure she's doing. You know, I know this one guy, he had a fine wife and she was messing around, but he had kids, and they already had a sexless marriage, and I don't know what he was doing, but, he didn't care what his wife did, she just did what she did, and he was like, went on and took care of his kids and did what he had to do, I don't know if they're still together now. I'm sure at some point they might have got divorced, or maybe he just got used to it, he didn't care, and there are a lot of guys who are in that situation, so the trust thing doesn't even need to matter, like I said, when you're talking to a woman, the first thing you need to do is ask them, how are they when they get angry? Because the whole thing that's going to make you keep with or stay with a woman is how there's only two things that's going to there's only one thing that's going to make you break up or stay with a woman in the way that we've been taught, and it's called your emotions. If your emotions are good, you're going to stay. If your emotions are bad, you're going to stay. If your wife messed around on you and y'all fight about it, and then she's able to is it congeal? I don't know, somewhere, anyway, control or something, or mess with your emotions in such a way where he'll say forgive, but actually it's not forgiving, it's just calming down of his emotions, then he'll stay with you. If the emotions if he can't control them or can't get his emotions down far enough, then he's going to break up, and that's it. But if you understand how your woman is, well, first of all, if you understand that you don't like that kind of situation, then you won't, marry her or date her. Or if you know she's like that, but she's just a fine woman, then you might marry, because everyone knows that there are couples that's doing threesomes. They got open relationships. I mean, you got movie stars saying it right on TV. So it's no big thing. And why? It's not, they say, well, because I trust my wife, and it's not even, it doesn't even have to be nothing emotional, because your emotions really make you sick. And it's your emotions that really destroy you. But if you think in the rational mind, now what I'm saying is this. I'm not saying this so that you don't have to be emotional or anything like that, because you do what you want to do, and that's your problem. Okay, but I'm just saying, it's your emotions that's making people rich and making the richer people rich. For one thing, it's making them rich because they have no competition. Because when you're getting upset over your wife or girlfriend doing whatever she's doing, then you can't really function or concentrate on what you really need to be doing. If you, so that doesn't matter. Then they don't have to worry about you. Oh, and then another thing is because you're not functioning properly, they can make money off of you. And what I mean by that is when you do something wrong, they toss you in jail, and people are making money because they can sell your services and things like that. Like I said, I heard one of my friends said in Canada they're building like 100 prison facilities because they got all these people up there, lawyers and stuff. They have nothing to do, and what they're gonna do. Now, whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. But why not? Because they did it in the States. You know what I'm saying? And they basically what he was saying was they got the immigrants, the people coming on over, immigrating in, and they told them they'll give them $400 for each kid that they have. So they got the money, had a bunch of kids and stuff, and then I heard they cut it, like recently cut it like 60% or 40%. And then they don't have money because I think they said it just went from generation to generation. So I don't know if these people are actually making money or not and going out and get jobs or whatever. But this in France, he said he went out there and he said the conditions messed up. But anyway, not for white people, but for the foreigners, because he said all the rich people live in Paris and everybody else live on the outside and stuff. But basically, saying they're building up all these prisons, and because I guess they're going to create some type of a work shortage or something where people are going to start robbing and stealing, and people are going to start going to these jails, and these jails are privatized jails. So the government, instead of giving, they're taking that money and probably paying however much money to keep, they're going to frighten the rich people emotionally into paying more taxes so they can keep the criminals off the streets so they won't get hurt. Okay, and because of the things that's going on in these different countries, then that's true. And that's the only reason they're able to do that is because there's a whole bunch of reasons. One thing is when people have kids, they get paid for having kids and stuff like that. Then and they're not properly educated, or the parents aren't properly educated, which the kids aren't educated. The parents aren't out trying to do business and doing things, and because there's a lot of international business that you can do over the net and stuff and keep your kids out of trouble and stuff. You too emotional, you don't think rationally. Hey, my kid has to because basically it's like why do you go to school? You need compulsory schools because you're taking all these subjects for what reason? So you can find out which one you like. So when you go to college, that's what you can focus on. In high school, in compulsory schools, the teacher are making you study, and then they're telling you, when you go to university, they don't tell you, they don't care, you flunk out fine, whatever. And the whole thing is when you go in these compulsory schools, they are pretty much giving you a big warning not to do this, not to do that, study, instead of hanging on the streets, study, instead of playing the games, study, instead of wasting too much time, study this, read. But, a lot of people just get bored, they're not thinking rationally, they're getting emotionally bored, and they don't want to do it. Why do I got to study? Why? And then next thing you're in jail, and, or something happened, or you poor, you with some woman that you just can't stand, or whatever. Your kids grow up, and they bad, and out in the streets doing all kinds of stuff, and you're like, man, what do we all say? I wish I was back in school again. Man, I should have studied. And that's just the evidence of saying that, hey, you messed up and you had your chance, but you still have a chance, But what I'm saying is, be careful with these emotions and stuff like that, because when things get hard and you get out there and doing something, if you got seeds, start planting food. You ain't got to go steal food. You can plant that stuff. And just think rationally and be careful, because your emotions are making other people rich too.